GM, welcome to episode 4 of Predict Daily. I'm your host, The Carpenter, alongside me again, and big brain, fantasy top player, Pavel. Pavel, how are you?
Hey Carp, nice to see you. I'm all good. Enjoying the holidays and some time in at home. Being slightly sick the past couple of week or two, but enjoying being away from people and socials and just staying at home a little bit more.
Heck yes, yeah. Like I said, like I kind of said a little bit in the thing, green room. I was like, yeah, that sounds good. And I was like, wait, no, not that you're sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a certain appeal to it.
Yes, absolutely. Like you kind of said, you had to miss the family holidays, and
you get to slow down a little bit, which is the nice side of it.
Absolutely, it is.
But anyways, like feeling back up to speed now, to be honest. So
good. I like
excited to get on with it.
Yeah, perfect. So today, kind of like really excited to get you on today, especially because the markets have been live for a few days, 3 days now, but it's a really key part in the prediction market for fantasy, whole like system or whatever, or the whole like process. It's when tournaments just went live, right? So this is when all the people are posting and everything. So like today is a huge day to have you on. So definitely want to get into kind of your if you're looking what you're looking to enter, what you're looking to exit, and then just anything and everything inside that giga brain of that is Pavel.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, I think it's a really exciting time when the tournament is starting because you can already start feeling a little bit where things might be going, and this is where like just being clinically online pays off big time. Like you just monitoring like each account, like having notice on, just like seeing how tweets are doing and just seeing if they get traction. It can reward you big time. It's something that I've seen Visavi do a lot. I know you folks were talking about him yesterday on the stream. I think he's going to be a great guest also if he would be willing to join the stream. But if you look at him, like it's been crazy. I actually have a separate tab open with his position here, just because I think it's interesting and it's something that I've been monitoring a little bit because it's mostly me against him on the top of the volume chart right now, and you can just see how active he is. Like basically every hour of the day, like there's a number of bets that he's doing. Like I can scroll this forever just to go through his bets today. And it's just crazy. I mean, the guy's hustling big time, and it's currently 36k frags in positions. Like it's crazy.
Oh man, that is nuts.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, mostly the thing I don't like about this week, and I feel like I'm gonna get wrecked over it, is I feel like I've overplayed some positions I'm not that confident in. So I think this is a really good example. So the Who Will Make a Banger market, like initially I was thinking about not playing that, but then like as I saw like how things are going and like how actually much I would be leaving on the table volume wise and potentially PNL wise if I don't play the mentioned markets, I thought that like I would really quickly lose the race, the competition for the season. So I figured I have no chance. I need to kind of figure out how to play this. So I went and did like a quick research on all of these, and I think I ended up concentrating Visavi on pretty much all of these markets instead of Donald Trump. So he was going no here, and I think yes on basically everything else. And it seems like we're counter trading each other in here, and that has led us to both have really big positions in all of these markets, because basically we're giving each other the liquidity to make like massive positions like Portal Market in here. I am definitely not as confident in this going for a no here as to putting 700 frags, but it's just something that I've started betting on, and then like as soon as I see better odds like these ones on the losing side. So basically, if I've gone for 2x here and I see it's 3x here, I'm kind of just in that mindset of DCAing a little bit to improve my average odds. And I've done quite a lot of that for Polymarket one specifically. And I feel like I might lose that big time. And Visavi is probably gonna cook on this one. Like if you look at his positions, I think this is one where was it? Banger market. This one, like he has. Oh, I cannot see it like that actually. But yeah, he has 9K frags in here. Like it's crazy.
Holy cow!
He's
I
been
wonder.
basically, yeah.
Or go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, I was just gonna say, like, you can always see him. Basically, if you look at the history of any market, you could see him immediately jumping in after an opportunity presents. So if I've noticed that most of the time, if I go in and bet against him, so let's say like the poly market example, if I go in and take a position, like within 5 or 10 minutes, he's there to bet the opposite side and just leverage the odds that he wants. So basically, yeah, seems like he has a really planned out map of targets in his mind where he wants to, how much exactly he wants to bet on which markets at what odds, and just looking for these opportunities 24/7 to find the right odds, which I think is the way to play this in the most optimal way. Like the short term, like maybe I can do well in the prediction markets just by leveraging my understanding for the game, especially like for the fantasy related ones. But when it comes to, I mean, as the markets pick up and the house becomes better at managing the initial liquidity, and also the players, the betters become better, what's going to be mostly rewarded is just being there all the time and being quick. Like whenever something happens, for you to be able to go and quickly leverage it. So for example, there was this Polymarket tweet from a little while ago, which I hate, just going on about this Minnesota thing about the child cares, the scam.
Oh, yep.
And it's already had like 700,000 views within 2 hours. And if you actually go to Polymarket, they're really milking that story because a couple of, so 2 days ago or something, I think it was, let me see, I'll find that. This one. So basically, on that story about the Minnesota childcare stuff, like they have already a tweet with 21 million from the day before the market starts, and they're continuing to milk that story, and they might easily get another one to more than 6 mil.
Oh wow,
But
yeah.
it's just something you kind of, it puts you in a bad position when you have a really big bet on it, because when the size is that big, I mean, cashing out like 100 frags is probably not going to be like a huge pain. I'm going to lose like 10-20% on it. But cashing out 700, like by the end of my position, so if I go and cash in like just 70, I'll get 50 back. But if I try to, so that's what, like losing 20-25%. But if I want to cash out the full position, I'm going to be losing like a shit ton more.
Yeah,
Um,
60%.
yeah, it's probably, yeah, close to 60, more than 50, like 50-60%. And it's just really bad when you get into these big positions that you cannot really play that well live in the tournament. Like if this was a smaller position, I probably just would have taken the potential loss on that and gone out because I don't think it was a good bet to begin with. But I already had such a big position already early on that all I could do was just hope that I'm wrong and this is actually gonna win, and
Yep.
just double down on the good odds.
There we go. Yeah, because that's actually what I was gonna ask you is if like in a situation like that, if you were gonna try and take it out, like minimize losses, but you kind of answered that, which I really
Yeah.
like. And what I was gonna
I
say,
would. Otherwise,
oh,
I
you would.
would. If I had the liquidity, I would, and I did that a lot the last week. To be honest, I haven't done it yet because the tournament hasn't been live for that long, but I'll probably do it again. But it's just you could only realistically do it with small positions.
And what do you consider small positions, like under 100, like to where it won't move the market as much, right? Or it won't. It's like won't hurt you as much, I guess.
Yeah, it will be dependent on the liquidity in the market. So for this one, obviously, like it has quite a lot of volume. So you can swing a decent position here, but 700 is like too much for any market right now, and the
Yeah.
liquidity is quite thin still because yeah, I don't know how much we currently have. So if I go to the leaderboard, it's hard to get that information right now, but if you probably look at just like Visavi and myself, we have about I think 60k frags in total right now in liquidity. France has like five. We'll probably have more than. I feel like we probably have more than half um, the liquidity that is currently in the open markets, which makes it really hard to kind of do anything because then whenever you've taken like a high conviction bet, getting out of it is gonna usually move the market down to a zero and you won't realistically have a chance. You might want to scale out some of the position but not like the whole thing. I've done
Oh,
that
okay.
though. I've done that for some markets. Like for example, one thing I love to do, I think that's the timing we had last time also, but on the platinum market, like I immediately when the tournament starts, I go and start like looking into platinum decks. So I would go and search, for example, for trapdoors decks. And actually, like in this case, like I went through them and I was like, maybe not this time. So usually he's like quite strong because of his inventory, but right now I feel like he's either maybe gone a little bit more heavy to diamonds, or maybe I don't know. I just didn't see like a ton of good combos, which I think were big heavy hitters. So the 5x here is probably not that justified for me. So I ended up actually cashing out a bunch of my position on him to an extent where I felt like this was, I think, at the time like at 4x, and yeah, I was selling a bunch of frags from it. So I scaled out of like half of my position for him just because I didn't feel like he's that much of a favorite this time around. And I did like the same like with a few other accounts. Like I didn't like some of their decks. On the other hand, like I did like Punk's decks, for example. So I doubled down on him a little bit. I have a decent position. I added more to King of the North as well. I feel like they're underdogs, which I've managed to get quite good odds with. And they actually have a really decent chance, I think, of winning. So basically, yeah, the way I would play this market is I have these few like players which are underdogs, so it's like easy to accumulate good positions in them, where I would win big if they do win. Whereas like the top dogs like Trapdoor, Junie, and so on, I would usually have positions someone else also, just enough to cover my investment here, so I'm not at a loss. So I feel like it's a very so far has been a very easy market to play, to be honest. I had some positions in crab, for example, but his inventory is quite, I think, slimmer than some of the other guys. And just like because you guys had a stream about it, like some people I think bet quite a lot on him just because that's the person you talk about. So I ended up cashing out like a really big profit, I think, in the frags I had in crab, and at 14x I wouldn't take that right now. So I fully cashed out everything here basically.
So I have a question. So I'm looking here at the here. I'm gonna pop you down just for a second. I'll bring you right back up. Let me fix this. This is perks are doing it live. Oh, quit that. There we go. Boink. Okay. I like that better. It looks better. All right. So I was looking here and I see Tyler and RWLK are tied at the top, right? So I'm
Yeah.
looking for a quick. Tell me if my thought process is wrong here. So I went ahead and I already had a position into RWLK. I got in even more. I literally like quadrupled my size. I think I had 20 in on him, so I almost 5x my position size here. Around when I started getting him in, it was like like 6x. And I got it
Yeah.
down to I was putting 10 at a time, right? Because I'm like, this is a top 5 market, not even a winning market, right? Is he going to finish top 5? So with RWOK, I'm thinking he is awesome. Like one, like anyone who plays fantasy or even anyone that knows CT, right? He's not tied to like strictly to Monad. He can do well regardless, right? Um, and he posted early, which he always does. He's very fantasy
Yeah.
aware. See, it was intern. But I seen him and I seen Tyler, so I put literally the rest of the frags I had. I had burnt 2 cards just so I had another 100 frags to throw in right before the stream. And I'm probably going to be buying some more frags with some ETH here on stream so I can make a few more bets on stream. And yeah, I've been doing that throughout the week so I can bet each stream. But yeah, so do you think that's a good bet, bad bet? Would you have done it? What are your thoughts there?
So what I do in these situations is I go a little bit deeper than that, because I feel like when the tournament is still early, people really overestimate the impact of the temporary scores up on the leaderboard, and when they're based on like just a few hours, they mean close to nothing. It's just who posted first, basically. But what you could do is, if you want to leverage like momentum like that, I would go to their Twitter accounts actually and check the posts that they did, and just try to understand on one side their recent momentum. So did they have like good momentum up to the tournament? And on the other side, the posts that they had after the tournament started, are they really good ones, which I feel like they go on to generate engagement for days and are actually going to bang big? Or is it just the advantage of being first and it's going to just fade away as the tournament goes on? So what I've noticed is usually people overemphasize the importance of an early post, and I usually tend to counter trade that actually. So if you notice like Tyler, so there's actually the second thing that you should do here. So besides like just checking these actual posts and like what they are and how they would do, and just thinking about that yourself, you could also check the history of the market. Because if someone already leveraged that bet that you want to do, then it's a worse bet for you to do. So if you go to the actual history of the rank market, you would notice that Tyler already had like a huge swing towards the yes direction because of his early posts into the tournament. So someone already had that mindset to go in and bet on him. It's actually on the other one though. It was on the top five,
It,
I think, but the over
so,
under.
oh, the over under, yeah. Well, the final
Um,
ranks.
yeah. So for the over under, like if you go to Tyler,
Oh, Tyler. Where are you, Tyler?
so you can see like how much
Oh,
like he
yeah.
spiked from like 66% to like almost 80.
80, yeah.
And that's
That is a
just
big
because
jump.
like he's posted. And if you check the actual post, like it's a very like mediocre average post. It just shows that he's there. Like it's nothing special. So it's
Yeah.
just people, I think, getting biased from the fact that he's temporarily rank one, and they feel like it's a really good bet to go for like a 20% return on him being like in the top 25. But
So
in reality, like it's yeah.
so I guess my only thought process is here. One, ICO Beast has like comment. This might be me thinking about too into it, right? Like, because I am a chronic overthinker. But so his post has to do with is a retweet from Kalshi. So I mean, not retweet. Kalshi that retweet him, but he quote tweeted Kalshi. So my thought process is one, ICO is on the Kalshi team. He's super CT aware, and maybe not that he runs the Twitter or anything, but Kalshi, I could see them retweeting this or something, or at least commenting on it, something like that, which could
Yeah.
help it.
Mm.
As well as ICOBs commenting, retweeting, quote tweeting something, right? Because that could make this run a little bit more.
Yeah.
And again, maybe that already had happened, right? Because if you look at his post from 2 hours ago, the one that he just posted, it already has 3x the volume. So maybe that kind of stuff has already been taken into consideration, and has that maybe already happened, right? Because we see almost 30K, but he's a big account, so that 30K would need to go quite a bit higher than that to hold up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the top 25 at this point is probably like a pretty decent bet. The top five, it's still ambitious, but it can happen. But to be honest, the reason why I think it might be better is not that much because of his short-term position after these few posts, but like if you scroll down a little bit, like he yesterday he teased that he knows which is the bank that went under, and it was like a post with like more than half a mil of views. It's probably just a
Oh
little
wait,
bit.
oh right here. I
Yeah,
know the name of the
it's
bank
actually
that went under. Yeah.
700 already. Like 2 hours ago, that was still. It's not yesterday. Okay, it's earlier today. So this is actually when you see something like that, you know that it's probably a topic that is just now gonna start like picking up over the next couple of days. So he's gonna have more engagement around this because this is just a tease. So if there's official news over the next couple of days, like his account is probably gonna do super well. So that's why I think
Sweet.
like when you spot things like that, like I think it's really good to build a hypothesis around it and just go and find the right bets in the market. And the top five here might not be out of the question, especially like if the upside is like 5 6x. You could definitely like benefit from that quite a lot.
Okay, yeah, that's one thing I did not know to look for, right? Which is smart. Like that's what like the people like you and Visavi or Vis-a-vis, however you say it, as well as Clay, you guys look at things quite a bit different. Which I think you look at it different than Clay. He looks more as a numbers aspect, where you look at numbers, but you also look at deep into the CT spot, right? This you're the first person I've heard say something kind of like this, or we're right here, this one, right? Looking, seeing that this is kind of like a teaser, and that in the future, this week during this tournament, right, it could definitely pop off. So that's very. I mean,
Yeah.
I just gotta if I could, I being uh, selfish, I just want to have you on every time because then I get the 10-second head start of picking your brain because of the delay.
Yeah, but then you're on stream and you have a slower time to actually go and bet.
Yeah, true, true, true. All right, I'll bring
but
your screen back up here.
but no, I think it's just like what my point was about. Like it really is gonna start paying off being early, and I think guys like Visavi and maybe France too, if he gets serious about it, like I think they're gonna cook big time. I mean, my performance is gonna fade away over the next couple of weeks as I get more busy in the real life, but you could already see like how much you can benefit from just being clinically and chronically 24/7 online on this, which is great, which is what PMF feels like usually. So that's how you know that this product can bang.
Yes.
And I hope we can see it perform well. I mean, I hoped for a maybe a little bit better start for prediction markets than what we've had right now, but I'm still at least happy that the product is working well and like as a core player. As a core gambler, I think in the prediction market, I think so far my feedback is good, and I feel like it's very addictive. It's very nicely built around like you actually getting an edge where you can find it and just leveraging your
Mhm.
skills and your knowledge. So I think we're set up with a pretty good product here, and I hope it picks up the volume it deserves.
Absolutely, and that's why. So kind of, I mean, this is again, this is probably a good time to before I say this statement is a good time to say, the disclaimer, right? Yes, I am part of the Fantasy Top team as the content lead, but and I am streaming on the Fantasy Top main account. Both of those being said, nothing that I say or do should be depicted as coming from the team. This and then also retweet, share, all the fun things. But okay, with that being said, with this is just my thought process of this whole thing, right? So as you were in the like product testing phase with us, one thing we know about the fantasy team, especially the core team, the founders, as well as 710, is they like to like build in public, right? So
Yeah.
they we did the testing phase, which was a couple weeks, and then it went to market, right? Came out. To also, and they're pushing updates super fast. They're taking, um, you know, seeing what people say could be better, and about the UI UX, about the experience, right? And then doing that like pushing those updates, correct? And then um myself, I'm trying to help with like getting it out there with the streams. I feel like as it gets better and better, more people will be able to talking about it. You know, we'll probably potentially get heroes playing, and I'm gonna try to do my part by getting them on stream, playing. One of the ones on my target right now is ICO Beast, with him having, him and Easy both having either streams or content based on product markets as well, especially ICO, being part of Kalshi. Would be really cool to have him on, kind of get his thought
Yeah.
process on it. But no, I feel like, yeah, like you said, it's really like it's in a good place. It's going to get better. And I feel like when with it getting better and, the building in public, we're going to see more volume, more people coming in. So super excited for it. 2026 is going to be a big year, I think.
Yeah, I think it's time for we'll slowly see heroes starting to play the prediction markets, and I think it's gonna have a good snowball effect, and just like it's gonna pick up over time. Like this is not something that it needs to bang out of the door, because you would still have, obviously you have the financial incentive of the competition, and right now it's definitely a big reason to drive some of the volume up. But this is gonna give you, I think, just enough to generate the snowball effects, and just like picking like a few additional like heroes playing it, a few additional mentions on the timeline about the product. I think it will pick up. We need to also be mindful that it's the holiday season, so people
Yes,
might be, and obviously like crypto markets in general like are really in a really bad condition right now. But I think in the new year, like as we keep on building and like hyping this up, and we have the core community supporting it, I think it's gonna pick up nicely.
absolutely.
I actually saw Simon Derich was betting on something somewhere. I'm not sure I can
Yes.
find his account right now, but I definitely did see him. I wonder like if it was like a one-off, or let me see. What was it? What was his handle? Something
Oh,
like this,
Simon the
maybe.
Hero. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw him betting, I think, and I think he was on the Platinum League week, league win, by the way. But I wonder, like,
Go.
if any of our,
'Cause I know Simon
yeah,
plays core, and he has for a long time.
yeah. But the thing is, I cannot really. This doesn't have pagination yet. And it
Yep.
doesn't have a search, so you cannot find someone like that. And if you find their profile from here, like, there's no way to actually open their positions. But I know the team is working on a new leaderboard, so hopefully that's gonna
Yep.
be
Part of
sorted
it.
out there, because I would love like to see like random players positions, even if like they're not like top of the leaderboard by volume or PNL or something else. But yeah, in due time, I guess.
Absolutely. And that's one thing I'm excited for after the holidays. 'Cause I know like Easy himself, like Easy Eats and Clemente, uh, I want to get, and the same with, I mean, he's not a hero, but he's with the Bodogos there as well, which is Ray, RCIV on is his handle on Twitter. Like the quant for the Bodogos.
Yeah,
I definitely want to get this in front of them. They've all three been on the deck building series stream as well as Fantasy Hour back when we were in the Twitter Spaces. Really want to get this in front of them. I know with the holidays they've been busy. Maybe it's like flown under the radar for them. But when they're back, I definitely want to get them this in front of them. Get their takes, whether it's on a call and ideally on a stream. I think I can get Clem on easily. Granted, he has got a lot more busy, but I would love to get him on, kind of get his takes. He's big on fantasy. He's played it, believer in it. Would love to see what he thinks about the prediction markets. He's made some awesome content about prediction markets. Would really like to see him, get his teeth sunk into this. Same with Easy, which Easy has his like prediction market daily show. Would be kind of cool to see him like mix this in there with it, right? That'd be like gold
I,
standard, really.
I think you'll love to see this, and just like think about the fact that he has a way to actually bet on himself and so
Yep.
on. Oh, somebody jumped this quite. wow, it was down to only 28%. So somebody has really good odds at 120 for Clem.
Ah,
So this was down quite a
I
lot. I
was.
actually wanted to probably bet on him.
He's
I
on
was
my
reviewing.
whiteboard over here to watch because I remember last week we were talking. You're like, you got to watch for when someone dumps the market, and then you can get in at better odds. Clem is on my on my list to watch.
Yeah, yeah. So it went
People
from
dumping him.
36 down to 28.
Damn it.
That was before the tournament, and right
Oh,
now
okay,
this is
before turn.
this is exactly what's happening. Like people are buying because he has a few early posts, and if you think about it, like it's obvious that he's gonna have early posts because he's fantasy aware and he always does that, and it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be the same like with HK for example. Like
Oh
HK,
yeah.
I mean, I found good odds to bet actually against him here, so I've done that. Sorry, HK. But like sometimes like these like fantasy build heroes, like they get a good early start, and people
Mhm.
read too much into that, and then like they
Yeah.
just fade and fade and fade over the course of the tournament until they actually, yeah, just go to their median rank usually. So it's like 2.5x, for example, HK. Like if you notice, like his, let me go to his card. So if you notice his tournaments, like he's usually hovering around that. So 98, 109. So in the last two tournaments, that would be a win. Like then he had two good ones, but then before that also, well, I guess this is irrelevant. He had a break here. But generally, he's hovering around that. So I think the more like fair odds for this market would be like around 2x. So at 2.5x, I'm happy to take a position in that. I'm more like 50-50 on that. So that just feels like an EV plus bet, even though it feels, yeah, doesn't feel great to bet against HK
No, it
as
doesn't.
our fantasy hero, but you got to do what you got to do to climb the leaderboard.
Yes, absolutely. I think he'd even bet against himself for the right odds. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. And he should. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, I've definitely so I think this week, sorry,
Mhm.
I've had roughly the same size of positions as compared to last. Um, I've probably traded a little bit less pre-market, but overall, like it's very similar to last week. I have a huge position in the top five market because I was again early on betting on the no side for most of these, as the house I think is still quite suboptimal with the initial liquidity. So a lot of these were opening at like way too good odds for the no side. So I've mostly taken no on a lot of these, up to an extent where I have basically half of my liquidity in there. And then like the rest, like I've just been kind of playing everywhere. I usually initially I wanted to build mostly around the top five, the first, and the rank markets and the platinum league, so all the fantasy related ones. But then, as I said, like I just saw that it's actually better to try and spread out across all markets. Just even though I feel like I'm betting against myself because I don't have like that good knowledge about all of these different markets, I just push myself to do a little bit of research on them and just try to build a hypothesis so that I don't miss out on the potential volume I can win from there, since it's subsidized right now and I kind of have to find good even if I don't win any frags from this, like even if I'm just like net neutral, it's still a win because I'm managing to squeeze in more volume in it, and it's helping the with the competition.
Absolutely. And um like I we kind of talked about with or I talked about with Clayton on I think it was Friday, Thursday or Friday. Might have been Friday. It was Friday. Um, about the competition is he says it should be like I said it was the cherry on top for the prediction markets, and he said it should be like a byproduct or whatever. And one thing I stood out to me that Clay said also is the fact that instead of looking at if I cash this out in profit or whatever, it's only or even if I bet this right, it's because he goes in for like one frag to get the best odds and just like multiplies that, similar to what you do, is like, oh, this is even one jade pack, but instead looking at this is 20% gain, this is a 40% gain, looking at it that way instead of, oh, this isn't even 100 frags, right? And that's something I've started to do as well. Is that something you do? Which I think I know the answer, but for the listeners.
Well, the basically how I look at it right now is mostly I'm interested in this, right? I want to build my P&L and I want to build my volume. And I want to be up here for when the season ends to make sure that I can leverage some of these trading comp rewards. So it's if that's like the major driver, like it doesn't um really matter like what the underneath like win is actually sized at, because like 5k frags in here, like obviously it's not that bad, but like if we go to the shop, like if I go and try to actually buy 5k frags, like what's that word, let's see. So 5k frags is zero point 0.1 ETH, a little bit less actually because you get a bonus here, but 5k frags is actually yeah, $300. So it's $300, which to be honest, like if I have to weigh it against the time I've invested in that, it's probably not a big deal. But it's kind of
Yeah.
multiplied by the factor that I think I can be in these like top positions by P&L and by volume by the end of the competition, and hope for maybe like a few $1,000s extra from the for the end of the season there.
Oh yeah, that's definitely helps as well. That's something like I don't remember who posted it, but it was in one of our chats with like you, me, HK, the Molt. Showed the like bottom traders, and like it was myself down there and the Molt, and so I definitely need to
Yeah, how does that
work
look
on my
now?
P and L.
Let's see. Still top three. Yeah, Danker, Juni. Yeah. Wow.
I think I've even like I'm worse. Molt was I think jumped up, yeah. So I've got to pick up my
Well,
stuff.
it's so easy to swing this. I mean, it's obviously like on average, like I think for week one, um, the house was a loss of 6k frags, meaning more players won than they lost actually.
Hmm.
But I think this week is probably going to be the opposite, and over time, like it's going to get harder and harder to actually pull a profit from this, as any like sort of like prediction market should be. Obviously the house should be profitable, so we should be seeing more of this and less of these. But I think the key thing here is just trying to be consistent and grind week over week, and like just trust that you would be in the net positive after enough weeks, because obviously like one week can swing bad, one week can swing good, but over like a whole season I think you should be where you should, yeah, you should end up where you kind of should be based on your skill and your knowledge and your dedication to this. You can see like for example, like people like how do I find him by number of bets, maybe. There we go. So Tom, if you take Tom for example, he has a lot of volume, but you can see like he doesn't really treat prediction markets as seriously as me and Visavi, because he just goes and dumps a bunch of like 250 bids on like a lot of things. And actually what I've ended up doing is when I see him active, I just go to
Hmm.
his profile and I look at all of the single like bets that he's done and go and concentrate him because basically such huge bets that they aren't huge, but for the liquidity we have right now, they're quite big. They
Yeah.
swing the odds quite a lot. So this actually presents a good opportunity to bet on 92 plus for HK. This presents a good opportunity for Unipieces to be 35 plus and so on. And
Oh
actually
yep.
go like after all of these like big swings. And Tom has been one that just kind of does this. I imagine he spends like 10x less time even though he has the same volume as me on prediction markets, and it's just like a way to go about it. Um,
Hmm.
so I think that's also like a key thing to consider. Like if you take Visavi, for example, I think Visavi is going to be spending more time on the prediction markets than any other player in the leaderboard, and he's going to be very rightfully be up there, both volume wise and PNL wise by the end of the season, because of like his pure like dedication and just like how much he's hustling through that. And that's going to be over time, I think, the number one quality you need to kind of yeah, just reap the benefits of the prediction markets.
Absolutely. And like, so real quick, is when do you, this is something I'm like, I know other people want to know because I just came into my head. Uh, so when you're looking at markets or, you know, to enter markets as well as to exit, is there like a major swing you're looking for, or are you trying to, like when it comes to exiting, or are you just kind of uh, going with like your experience, or both?
Well, to be honest, I feel like I just let myself think about all of the things I know about a certain market, and just I don't have like a specific formula or like pattern. I just try to make myself come up with, is this a good thing to do or not? And so if I go on and like let's say this one, because this is a little bit more interesting. um for example, I built a really decent position in CBB ranking badly this time around. And the reason why I was doing that was I was weighing in my mind the likeliness of him being very active around New Year. He, in the past like week or so, had some posts like basically being very negative about the state of the crypto market and the whole industry and how turned off he is by it. So I imagine like around the holidays he won't be too active, and his most recent posts have been basically things about like referrals and just things like that. So he doesn't seem like too much into it right now. So I've accumulated like quite a big position against the market here. So such a position, like, you cannot really build at once. You need to kind of accumulate it over and over and have a lot of players willing to go on the opposing side. So they would be just kind of pumping the yes odds, and I would be gradually building my no position here over time. But at the same time, like, if I actually go to my decks, like, he's in one of my most competitive decks, because as a 5-star he has a huge potential, and quite a lot of upside. So I'm kind of playing both sides, so to say. On one side, like for the core competition, I'm betting on him. On the other side, at 2.75 here, I just like the odds of going no. Do I think this is gonna win? Well, probably not, because I'm more like 50-50 about his rank, or maybe like even 60-40 that he's gonna nail this. But it's a good enough odd to kind of make me play against that. So it all comes to like, as Clay puts it, like in 1 out of 2.75 times in this week, do you think that CBB is likely to perform worse than 64 rank? And I think for this the answer is yes, and that's why it's one of my bigger conviction bets in here. But it's something that I think it has like a lot of factors to it, and you just need to kind of build your own hypothesis, weigh in the all the factors, and just do any research that you feel like is relevant to this bet, and then just kind of go with your gut. I don't want to follow a strict like formula or pattern or something like that. It's just basically, does it feel good?
Okay, yeah. So that's what, like, I have been so all over the place with it, as you can probably tell with my P&L. But I think I'm getting closer to a strategy through kind of like grabbing all of like you, HK. Even got to talk a little bit with Crab about it, which he's going to come on this week at some point. One of these days, I do want to find a time, and maybe it will be this week before everyone goes back to work for the holidays. Will probably be the best time to do it, or most likely time to do it would be to get like we wouldn't be able to share our screens a lot. Or maybe I could probably find it overlay to be able to. You wouldn't be able to see. I guess a lot of us aren't docs. It's only like myself, Crab, and Clay that are docs. So we'll kind of make the non-docs guys' faces a little smaller, but have like a panel, like quite a few of us on here. It'd be really cool to have Vasavi a part of that panel as well, but really kind of like get here and like brainstorm, think, kind of go over certain things. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I think it's gonna be nice to kind of see the opposite viewpoints. Maybe you can just like share screens so that you can just go over the markets we're discussing, and then just kind of everybody would be sharing their thoughts on what makes sense, what doesn't, how are they trying to evaluate the odds. But yeah, definitely down to do that if the time allows it.
Heck yes, that'd be perfect. Heck yes. Yeah, we've been on about 45 minutes. One of these days I'll end up I should probably just move the time frame from instead of from 30 minutes to like 45 to an hour, because I've yet to hit 30 minutes. But yeah, so we'll kind of start wrapping this up. Is there anything you want to touch on that we haven't yet touched on?
No, nothing specific. Basically just looking into, like, even while we're talking, I'm just seeing my Twitter notifications and trying to follow what's going on. So I'm just looking forward to in the next like day or two just play the events of the tournament live. I hope I can be at least net neutral this week, and just like add a lot of volume from this week, but not reduce my P&L. To be honest, I'm not like super confident about the positions I have right now. So if I go at a net zero out of this week, I would be happy, because especially like on the mention markets, I feel like I'm just gonna gift Visavi a little bit of frags. I don't feel too confident about my positions there, but hopefully I can hit a few lucky ones here and there. Most of the bets I have are rather contrarian at higher odds, so I have to win less bets to actually make it positive. But we'll see how that plays out.
Heck yeah, I think like listening to your strategy and how you kind of do it, I feel like you have higher odds than most of actually being net positive each week, even with your volume. I think
we'll see.
Yeah,
it's funny because it's a little bit restrictive. Like, you would think it's easy to get good P&L with a lot of volume, but that also means that you have some big positions where you have a lot of slippage on them. So with smaller positions, like, it's easier to be in profit. Obviously, if your positions are bigger as a proportion, like if you're in the net positive, you would have a higher P&L overall, but that's only if you're profitable. And the higher volume you use, the less likely you are that you are going to be profitable, because you're playing against the liquidity, against the fee. So it's tricky. It's really, I think Visavi is the one to study, to be honest, because I feel like he's doing a lot more research behind his bets. I'm going a little bit with my gut and like with more high level observations, but I'm sure he's probably been dissecting like all of the, if you look at his positions, like he's had a lot of frags on the mention markets, on MERT, on the Polymarket, like 5k frags on just like what words Polymarket is going to use. Like that's sick. Like he has half of the volume in here single-handedly. So I think knowing him, he's probably done like a ton of research and calculated like all of the odds that make sense based on historical data and whatnot. If you are that type of person, like if you do get like that deep into research and data, I think this is how you can benefit big time from the prediction markets. So it's going to be really interesting to notice like these key players which are like super deep into it, and just noticing how they perform. So far, I think we have one, but I'm pretty sure that more like these are going to actually pop up over time. Right now, I would say I feel like only Visavi is getting like super serious about it, but I hope that we will see others also picking up the steam here.
Absolutely. That's what I'm really hoping to get, like Easy and Clem. I know I keep jumping back to them, but I see
Yeah.
one, I know with Clem, like every time I've had him on stream, he gets so what I might do is try and get him, Easy, and Ray, all three on the stream together, because those Clem is the instigator of the three. And always gets them like cracking packs and stuff, so they could probably be like, oh, I'll bet you against this, I'll bet you that, let's just go head to head on this one, right? Get some volume in there, have some fun. I could see Ray betting against Clem. Whatever Clem bets, just Ray bet the opposite, right? So I like those guys a lot. I think they'd be really
That'd
cool
be
to have
good.
on.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But absolutely,
Especially considering they have their own like over under markets. It's gonna be
yes.
fun to watch.
Heck yes. Hell yeah. But thank you so much for coming on, man. We've pushing about 50 minutes. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. I do realize this is probably not the best time to stream it now that I think about it, because Rug Radio was on during the time we launched. So yeah, I got to rethink the times, especially the morning ones. But yeah, thank you guys so much for viewing. Thank you, Pavel, for the advice. I've been taking notes, so I'm gonna continue to. I might as well write a book after this from you guys' stuff. Not really. I can't write or read, but yeah, I'll have my daughter read it to me. But yeah, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, and I hope you crush it this week. I'll be watching your trades, and then hopefully we'll get you on again before the holidays are over. So
Thanks for having me, and good luck everyone in the markets.
yep. We'll see you guys on the next one tomorrow. I'm not sure what time yet, though, but we'll definitely be on tomorrow. All right. Bye.
See ya.